Hi everybody, I'm Jeremy Cordeaux. Welcome to the garage and the court of public opinion for another week. Guys, we have, Gary's here, Pete's here, we have a complaint. We do, we have a complaint.
Well, group complaint. Group complaint.
Well, I think it's reasonable. Constructive criticism is always good. Leith Van Onselen, he's a fabulous guest. He was on with us last Friday around the dining room table. Now, he wanted to listen back to the show, and people can. But what happens is that each live show is played back. This is the 3-hour live streaming show. It's played back, but it's random. You might get one from last year or the year before. The live streaming show on a Friday joins a sort of a conga line of shows that go way back to the very beginning. Now, what we've got to do is to archive each show, Leith tells me, archive each show so that people, guests, can easily find a particular show by date or by something. I don't know if it's possible. I've got to talk to Tony or somebody who understands this thing better than I do. We have 4 million people who seem to like what we do, and I don't want to offend any of them, but the technology is beyond me. In the old-fashioned world of radio, 50,000 listeners was a big deal. That would get you number one, the number one spot in Adelaide. 4 million with an unlimited potential, wow. Andy Martin and his great team at Ozcast are amazing, and I thank you, and I thank our new sponsors, Rossdale Homes. They're on Glen Osmond Road, and they are also on Portrush Road, where you can have a little look at 5, 6, 7 display homes, just on the corner of Bevington Road. Yeah.
The one on the left is super. The house on the far left is really super.
Well, they're all different. It gives you a sample of just how creative these guys are at Rossdale Homes. Now, the latest Red Bridge survey shows that Labor has fallen from 36% to 31% of the popular vote, while One Nation is nipping at their heels with an amazing 29%, which puts them way ahead of the Liberal Party. Gee, it's an amazing thing. I don't know what's going on, but I love watching it. Oh dear. The great lesson from this fuel crisis is the need for Australia to be independent. We used to be independent. Here we are, the richest country in the world with the greatest resources in the world, and a government who says that you can't access those resources or develop them. Red tape, green tape, you name it. And years to get approvals to do anything. It's truly insane. We are at the end of a very long, lumpy supply chain, with so many choke points I can't begin to count them. We have for 50 years been de-industrialising Australia. Going back to Whitlam and his damn stupid Lima Declaration, to which he signed us up, a treacherous betrayal of every working man and woman in the country. Labor's net zero energy policy has made us non-competitive 50 years on. So along with the Lima Declaration, well, we used to make cars. We used to make lots of things. No, actually, we made everything. And yes, we did subsidise the car industry. We still subsidise the Chinese and Korean car industry. They get our money. Labour at work. Australian workers, not so much. From trying to save the third world, we have become the third world. What Whitlam didn't destroy, Albanese with his net zero will. And with his, God, what is it, 94-seat majority? I can't see what can be done. Whitlam got rid of our manufacturing industry to third world countries, and now they, the third world countries, will be given our wealth. We used to have a government which supported wealth creation. Now we have one who wants others to have the wealth we've created. The climate nonsense is all about the redistribution of wealth, our wealth, your wealth. That's what it's all about. The socialist ideal. Not for me. If these people had a choice, impress you or the United Nations, the socialist United Nations, it would not be you or me that they would be concerned about. Even before this fuel crisis, all the financial pain, the cost of living, in other words, is because of the cost of electricity caused by Labour's policy of net zero and renewables, and it will make no difference to global emissions whatsoever. And apart from lots of people making money, when I ask, sensible, intelligent people, why are you doing this? I'm told, we, meaning Australia, we have to set an example. Why? China, India, the big emitters, where electricity costs 6 cents per kilowatt hour. Can you see these people turning their backs on prosperity and throwing their workers under the bus? Whitlam did. These guys wouldn't do that. Nope. And the amazing thing is that they get no criticism for it. They just run their own race. People respect that. And in this crisis, the crisis department, I've got to say, if the present fuel situation is occurring at a time when fuel supplies are greater in this country than before the war started, what is it going to be like when we do have a shortage? And yes, of course, they should cut the fuel excise and the truck road users tax, and they have. Just a reminder that we are being bled dry, It's insane that half of every dollar we put in the tank is federal tax. And no, that money does not go to maintaining the roads, it goes into consolidated revenue to fund, I guess, stupid things, corrupt things like the NDIS. Anything else they want to come up with in the name of progress or reform. Underwriting fuel and fertiliser imports, you look at it and you think, gee, well, they're trying to do something good, but it looks a bit like desperation, while telling us that there is no need to panic. This is what the government wants to do. They're calling this underwriting the shipping companies. They're calling this prudent planning. Prudent planning, that's what they call it. Closing down all but 2 of our refineries doesn't strike me to be prudent planning. And no, it wasn't all Labour. The Liberals had their sticky fingers all over it as well. I don't know where this comes from or where it's going to go. Is this an open-ended proposition that they've come up with? That means that if somebody chooses to sail through the Strait of Hormuz and suffers damage or loss, what? The Australian taxpayers got to replace the ship or the cargo? What does an oil tanker cost? I don't know. I don't actually want to know. Or does it mean that we're underwriting the financial risk that the shipping company is taking on putting the oil on board the boat and sailing it to Australia? They haven't made it clear. Have these guys thought this through? And why is our newly minted supply chain czar a climate warrior and not a logistics expert? A lot of our economy is based on this just-in-time philosophy, which became very fashionable. I don't know when, I don't know where it came from. just in time, which is fine if everything's sailing along smoothly. But we have to be prepared for anything, and we have to be prepared for everything. We have this lack of preparedness. The focus of this government is the de-industrialising and the decarbonising of the nation. Ideology runs the Labour Party. They got blinkers on. They can't or they won't see what's happening. Reality, in other words. I'll bet they're busy rethinking the budget. I'll bet they are. Jim Chalmers and all that softening up we saw of late. What was it? This Middle Eastern war makes budget reform necessary. Well, he's been pipped at the post. With the cost of everything going up and up and up, a slowing of the economy, the fuel situation, which could push us ever closer to a recession, instead of a reforming budget, the government should be making an economy like ours bulletproof. And that would have to start with energy. Our prosperity was built on cheap available energy. We led the world. Then along came Labour with their net zero and their scramble to install alternatives regardless of the cost. Hell, if the government can't read the future, they certainly can't prepare for it. And no surprise that they haven't. Whatever happens on budget night, I will bet further down the track there will be a mini budget. And that will be the horror budget, with all of the reform goodies that Jim wants to impose. When Jim gets to his feet in a month or so, he will not want to frighten the horses, assuming that their slaughter of the Brumbies has left us with some horses to frighten. I mean, I can't blame the federal government for killing the horses, but they could do something like I'm trying to do something, but they don't. Spare a thought for Meals on Wheels. Don't know if you've ever thought about Meals on Wheels. An Australian invention, a South Australian invention down Port Adelaide way. That's where it started. They deliver 10 million meals to needy people every year. And it's not just the meals that they bring in to people, elderly people. They bring in company and they have a health check to the sense, well, are you okay? Any problems? Anything we can help you with? That's a marvellous organisation. They too are caught up in this wretched fuel crisis. How will they cope with it? I don't know. I don't know what their financial state is, but I certainly know that it did start here in South Australia. And it's now all over the world. One of the great and genuine humanitarian initiatives in the world today. Just great to know that we started something that has made a real difference. You know, not a phony difference, but a real difference in people's lives. Happy birthday if you're having a birthday. It's the end of the month. The end of the month, March 31, ladies and gentlemen. Ford, hey guys, Ford publicly unveils its V8 engine on this day in 1932.
Yep.
8 years later, they were making Jeeps. Has there ever been a V8 Jeep?
No.
I mean, a World War II, proper Jeep,
Yeah,
you know?
No.
No.
4 cylinders.
Oh yeah, 4?
Yep.
Nah, I don't see anything wrong with 4 cylinders. 1900, Henry, English Prince and Duke of Gloucester, son of King George V, Governor-General of Australia, 1945 to 1947, born in Sandringham Estate, England. He died in 1974, but born this day in 1900. The Eiffel Tower officially opens for dignitaries, and an awards ceremony in Paris, France, designed by Gustave Eiffel and built for the Exposition Universal at 300 meters high. It held the record for the tallest man-made structure in the world for 41 years. Wow. That was 1889 on this day. 1840, Benjamin Baker, English civil engineer and designer of the bridge over the Firth of Forth, Scotland, and the London Underground, was born in England, Frome in England in 1840 on this day. He sure made an impression, left his fingerprints everywhere. Richard Pearce flies a monoplane several hundred yards in New Zealand on this day in 1903. 1921, the Royal Australian Air Force is formed. And 1924, Croydon Airport, London, the Imperial Airways was established. Now, I don't know, what is the first airline in the world? I don't know. I've got a feeling it was that one in Hong Kong.
Maybe.
That the Australians set up.
Oh.
I'll look it up. I'll let you know. There's always a scramble to be the first. I can understand that. The Hounds... there weren't several hounds, there was just one. The Hound of the Baskervilles. First of 14 films starring Basil Rathbone as Sherlock Holmes and Nigel Bruce as Dr. Watson is released on this day in 1939. Richard Chamberlain, American stage and screen actor, heartthrob, Dr. Kildare, Shogun, The Thornbirds, born Beverly Hills, California. He died 2025, but he was born this day in 1934. Paul Simon sells his entire songwriting catalogue of over 400 songs to Sony Music Publishing for an undisclosed sum. I will bet you that was a mozza.
Doozy.
Yes. That was in 2021 on this day. The first Golden Raspberry Awards were run and won. Can't Stop the Music wins this day in 1981. Johann Sebastian Bach, German composer, was born in 1685. Britain and France agreed to support Poland if invaded by Germany, 1939. 1980, the first town to claim to be completely illuminated by electricity, that is, electric lighting. It was Wabash in Indiana. On this day, in 1880, Shirley Jones, American Academy Award-winning actress, Elmer Gantry. Elmer Gantry, that was a good movie.
I don't know it.
Oh, it's about this table-thumping, religious, iconic...
There's a few of them around.
Yeah, Americans are very good at it. 1934 she was born. She was in the Partridge Family. She played the mother and David Cassidy's stepmom. She was born 1934. American rock group the Doobie Brothers split up in 1984. Pop groups are always splitting up. What was it? Doobie Brothers. Is that like Doobie Doobie Doo?
No.
Oh, sorry. Okay. And Debs Cavendish, Duchess of Devonshire, and the Chatsworth estate. One of the Mitford sisters was born in Gloucestershire, died in 2014, but born this day in 2020. Deborah Debs Cavendish. Oh yes, one more. And the USSR offers to join NATO. 1954. It was probably politely, or maybe even impolitely refused. I don't think the Americans ever wanted to join the Warsaw Pact. But you can't please everybody. That's the way. Thank you so much for being with us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you on Thursday morning with another posting of the Court of Public Opinion from the garage, brought to you with the best wishes of Rossdale Homes, where trust is a must. And they build beautiful, beautiful homes, and they will give you a guaranteed contract. The only person who can change that contract, that price, is you. It's a very handy thing to know. And don't forget our live streaming show on Friday. No, I'm sorry. Forgive me. We're not doing one on Friday. It's Good Friday. It's Good Friday. We're having the
Easter eggs.
we're having Easter eggs and the day off.
That's right.
I must remember because Professor Plimer is in Texas, so I'll have to. He's coming back. He'll be back for this show on Friday, but I've got to ring up and tell him there ain't going to be one. Anyway, we'll get there. I'll see you on Thursday morning. Believe in yourself. Thank you for viewing The Court of Public Opinion.